Welcome all. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about power flow and Poynting theorem. Let us describe the Poynting theorem first. Whenever the electromagnetic wave propagates through the space, then there is a transfer of energy from the source to the receiver. And during this transfer of energy, there exists a simple and direct relationship between this rate of energy transfer and the amplitude of electric and magnetic field intensities, which are associated with this electromagnetic wave. And this relationship is described only by the Poynting theorem. Let us discuss about the statement of the Poynting theorem. So according to the statement, the vector product of the electric field intensity, that is E vector, and the magnetic field intensity, that is H vector, at any point is the measure of rate of energy flow at that point. So this is all about the Poynting flow, power flow and Poynting theorem. Now if we discuss about the mathematical expression for the Poynting theorem, then it will be written as P vector, that is equals to E vector cross H vector. Here the P vector is nothing but power flow. Since this Poynting vector is nothing but showing the measure of rate of energy that is flowing, that's why here in the mathematical representation it is showing the power flow. And this E vector is electric field intensity. And this H vector is nothing but magnetic field intensity. And the direction of this energy flow from the source to the receiver is in the direction of this E cross H. And this direction is perpendicular to both the E cross H. So this is all about the basic introduction about Poynting theorem. Let us derive the Poynting theorem. So we discussed the Maxwell's equation that are given as del cross E, that is being equals to minus of del B by del T. And we also studied the Maxwell's fourth equation, that is del cross H, that is equals to J plus del D by del T. Let us give it as equation number 1 and it is equation number 2. And according to the vector identity, that we discussed, that is given as del dot A cross B will be equals to B into del cross A minus of A into del cross B. This is nothing but vector identity. By the help of this vector identity, if we evaluate del dot E cross H, then it will be equals to H in multiplication with del cross E minus of E in multiplication with del cross H. Now we can also write this expression by the help of this equation number 1 and equation number 2. We have the value of del cross E, which is being written here, and we have the value of del cross H, which will be substituted here. So on substituting the value, we have del dot E cross H, that is being equals to H in multiplication with minus of del B by del T minus E, that is in multiplication with J plus del D by del T. Now we have to open these brackets. So on simplifying, we get del dot E cross H, that is equals to minus of H dot del over del T into B vector minus of E vector dot J vector minus E del over del T into D. Now we can also write these three terms as first of all we will write this first term, that is minus of H, that is in multiplication with del over del T into B vector. It can also be represented as minus of H del over del T, and in place of B we will write mu H, because B is nothing but equals to mu H only. If we take this H vector before this del over del T, then it will become minus of del over del T into half of mu, which is being multiplied with H vector to the power 2. Now we will write this second term, that is minus of EJ. So minus of E into J, that is being equals to minus of E, and in place of this J we will write sigma into E, because J is nothing but equals to sigma into E. On opening the bracket, it will be equals to minus of sigma into E vector to the power 2. Coming to the third term, that is here. So minus of E del over del T of D, that can also be represented as minus of E del over del T of epsilon into E, because D is nothing but epsilon E, that's why we have written here. And if we take this E before this del over del T, then it will become minus of del over del T into half of epsilon into e to the power 2. Now on substituting these three values in place of this equation, this del dot E cross H will become del dot E cross H will be equals to, first of all in place of this expression we will write this term minus of del over del T 1 over 2 mu into H square. In place of this second term, that is minus of EJ, we write minus of sigma into E square, and in place of this term we write minus of del over del T in multiplication with 1 over 2 epsilon E square. So this is all about this expression. If we simplify this expression and take del over del T as a common from these two terms, then we get del dot E cross H, that is being equals to minus of del over del T of half into mu H square plus half epsilon into E square, and this second term is as it is. Now on taking the volume integral on both the sides. We can write down this expression as volume integral del dot E cross H, that is being equals to minus of del over del T of volume integral of half into mu H square plus half into epsilon E of square into dV minus volume integral sigma into E square dV. Now here we apply the divergence theorem, which is being used for the conversion of volume integral into the surface integral in the LHS part only. So on applying the divergence theorem, we can write down this expression as integration over closed surface E cross H into ds, that is being equals to minus of del over del T of integration over closed volume half into mu H square plus half into epsilon into E square over dV and V sigma E square into dV. So this is the final expression for the Poynting theorem. And if we talk about this expression, then the net power flowing out of the given volume is equals to the time rate of decrease in the energy stored within the volume minus of the conduction losses. So this term shows the conduction losses only. And this is all about the Poynting vector and the Poynting theorem derivation. Thank you. If you like my videos, then do subscribe my channel and please hit the like button.